So I'd like to take some time to talk about what I'm calling the shift from silly stories to tangible toys and this evolution of voice-first products for kids. We're still somewhat early in the adoption phase for voice to become a major consumer movement, but it's really taken off, especially because of COVID and kids' accelerated use of technology with their families in the home. So I'd really like to talk about this moment and how it's going to be driving adoption and putting extra focus on the way that families use tech. So I'll talk about this evolution from Creativity Inc.'s portfolio, and I'll discuss a few challenges about discoverability and marketing to kids, which are very unique. Let me start by introducing myself first. I lead marketing and business development for Creativity, which I will introduce a little bit further in a few slides. My background, I have 12 years of experience in marketing for kids' entertainment properties in the toy industry, working across brand marketing, strategic partnerships, and consumer product development for brands like Thomas & Friends, Leapfrog, Barbie, Disney, Playmobil, Moshi Monsters, and more. I want to echo something that Dominic did a great job talking about before. I really believe community and sharing ideas is super important to promote innovation, especially in the kids industry. I got involved with digital and apps pretty early in my career and noticed that there are unique challenges to marketing to children, especially in digital platforms. And I think it's important for people to collaborate, even if they're viewed competitors, in order to retain talent in the kids industry and to promote sustainable development and have diverse representation at the content creator level and inventor level. So to support that mission, I'll quickly plug a few of the communities that I am part of. I sit on the board of Women in Voice, and also Women in Toys, and our launch summit there, which is for inventing toys. I also work on some standards with the Consumer Technology Association, have a meetup group in the Bay Area called Digital Kids, and fostering a new voice hub for the Good App Guide, which will help drive discoverability in the voice industry. So please, let's connect and let's do some great work together, all of us. And now I'll launch into the slides. So when the pandemic came into our world in March earlier this year, it changed everything. I do a lot of consumer insight research, and you look at the slides from like December and it's like starting over for March. It's really important for people building content for this generation to think about how the pandemic is going to affect kids' lives and the way they experience the world. Of course, some positives, but also some negatives. So you think on the positive side, it's really helped bring families together and encourage more togetherness moments, which is very positive. On the negative side, kids have lost a sense of who they are, and they feel slightly less hopeful about becoming small adults. They're not playing sports or defining themselves as sporty. They're not, adopting the recorder or becoming this really chatty, fun social person. They've shifted a lot of their self-expression to digital channels like TikTok or messaging. And so their behavior is going to be different, and that's really important to think about how they use screens as well as voice and all these different modalities. But that said, the time that they spend together in the home is really driving up technology usage and new tech across the board. And smart speakers are one of these things. In recent polls, parents have indicated that they are more likely to buy a second or a third Echo or smart speaker for their kids so that they can have one in their bedroom and engage with this smart speaker in the home. So a real support from parents to drive this adoption. They don't have the same sort of tension in the home around this type of technology because it's not intermediating the family experience with a screen. So eye contact is maintained. And often these devices are in a shared place where parents can listen in on experiences and participate in those. And that's really important when you think about why there's less tension, why parents are supportive of it. There are also great learning experiences, and kids love to tell jokes. So that's really important when you're talking to brands or of kids products. They have concerns about tech and adoption and where we are in that adoption curve, but voice is already here for kids. They adopt it super easily, and they're really driving it forward. So I'm going to shift to talk a little bit now about where we are with that ecosystem and some things I've noticed from a business development perspective. Can we go to the next slide, Tim? So Creativity Inc. is a design studio that's been around for 20 years. We were founded to provide audio services, first for the toy industry, then adopted programming and engineering, and finally interaction design. We've worked on some of the biggest toys in global history. Tickle Me Elmo, Furby, tons of products from Spin Master, robots, app-connected products. Overall, we've shipped over 7,000 products and have contributed to 5 Toy of the Year nominations, which is like the Oscars of the toy industry. And many of these are driven by audio. So we have a deep experience with audio and 3 studios on site where we do casting and create sound effects and custom music for companies like Mattel and Disney and Sony, Fremantle, family in general. So when I started with the company 3 years ago, I noticed that we were still in an early phase when I'm talking to my partners. They were coming into voice saying, why is it important for me? And where are we in this adoption curve? And what I noticed is that it was really all about testing and trying to drive awareness and short campaigns. So I'll give an example of a few of these that we built in the early days for kids. We're finally getting to, I'll do that right now. So one of the first ones that we launched was called Strangest Day Ever, which is a really fun, quirky story on Google. And this one has been featured in many blogs. It has the benefit of being one of the earliest voice apps that launched for kids in early 2017. And right now we're actually seeing great numbers because of COVID to the tune of 300,000 monthly active users. That set the stage for us to partner with brands and to bring their products to life in new and interesting ways. And so the first really big one that we did was for Netflix with the launch of Stranger Things Season 2. In this one, we designed an experience where you can talk to all 4 boys through a walkie-talkie feature. So really thinking about the interaction with the voice assistants kind of creatively. And we created a trailer for this that has been seen over 10 million times, which is a huge number for the voice industry. We're now shifting to a phase where people are starting to say, okay, so I can get data, I can talk directly to my users, but how can I really harness that data and make it meaningful and drive monetization? And this is the time where you start to the early innovators from a development perspective drop out. And this is the problem that I want us to solve as a community. How can we make sure that people are successful, that they're monetizing their apps, and they're able to stay and create really great experiences? And this is just one example. Disney Music, one of our great partners, was looking for a way to test this early in 2018 and to say, how can we maybe drive some more listens of our playlist and help people plug into our classic music library differently? So we created a quiz game that helps users play trivia around the Disney Music Library, and then they can go on to ask to hear the playlist. And that's driving more streaming revenue for Disney, which is a great benefit. Finally, as we look forward, one of the things that I'm super excited about is looking at the shift from voice as a marketing channel to voice as a product opportunity. And the reason being is because there's a tangible purchase related to that. The toy industry globally is about $91 billion. In the US is about $300 billion. So this is a really great industry where people can get a part of that monetization and reach out to parents differently. So I'm excited to say that in the last few days, actually, Creativity has helped our partners, Jazzwares and KidCraft, launch 2 of the first Alexa gadgets, which are Bluetooth connected toys, which are voice powered and linked to a lockdown experience for the Amazon Echo that really enhances the kids' play experience. And if you meet me over in the breakout session later, I'd love to show some trailers on this and more data points from Disney and talk about some of the success that we're seeing from this. Lastly, I'll just go through a few quick hacks that we've learned over time. Sarah did a great job talking about all of this, but test your invocation with kids and make sure that they can remember asking them to call up and that they can pronounce it. We ended up dumbing down a lot of our invocations just because kids could not pronounce them. Second, open up to the world. We opened some of our proprietary apps to additional locales, and it tripled our usage, which was amazing. In a great way to attract traffic, use built-in intents functionality so that when people ask for a general game, they can find your app more easily and it surfaces in search. When you're designing, really let kids drive the action. What's interesting about voice tech is the fact that they are the ones who are making choices, and those choices matter. So when you're designing your app, make it that way. Finally, we have had a lot of success with marketing on socials. Trailers are your friend. It shows people how to model behaviors and how to use your voice app. So definitely use socials. That's it for us. I'd love to see you in the breakout session and chat more. Please connect with me on LinkedIn or reach out to me by email. It's so great to meet everybody here. And with that, I'd love to introduce Matt Hammersley, the CEO of Novel Effects, to come and share an awesome demo.